During the Palin-Bachmann-Hannity love fest last night, the two Republican divas bashed President Obama for signing a nuclear arms treaty. Watch.
Unbelievable, unbelievable. No administration in America's history would, I think, ever have considered such a step that we just found out that President Obama is supporting today. That's kind of like getting out there on the playground, a bunch of kids ready to fight, and one of the kids saying, go ahead, punch me in the face, and I'm not going to retaliate.
We need to be adults about terrorism and adults about keeping the American people safe.
So are they right? Did Obama just sign away our safety?
I don't see how nuclear weapons are a deterrent against our current real threat, terrorists. I mean, you can't really use nuclear weapons against roving terrorists. These are outmoded weapons that are used to fight the old Cold War, and I think it's perfectly sensible for us to have a cooperative agreement with the Russians.
Okay. What I find most intriguing is what President Obama did here. It goes exactly with the pinnacle of the Republicans who they want to put at Mount Rushmore. Ronald Reagan.
Right.
When you see what Ronald Reagan said about nuclear bombs when he made a speech in China, it paralleled Barack Obama completely to what he said. So how can they have it both ways? Reagan is their icon, and yet Reagan felt the same way about nuclear weapons as President Obama has.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
So how can they do that? How can Ronald Reagan, the greatest Republican of the century,
oh my
as
God,
they
he's
say,
canonized.
Yeah. And yet he sits right where President Obama sat when you heard him talk about nuclear weapons. How quick they forget, huh?
But is it a false notion that Democrats are weak on national security? I think it's a false notion. Because after Bush invaded Iraq, we became much less safe around the world. More terrorists came out, and it really felt like we were less safe when he was there.
Well, you know what bothers me, Joy, is here they're talking about now building, like I saw, what's his name, the guy with the mustache that used to be in the UN, what's his name? Bolton.
Yeah.
Bolton's talking about we need to build more nuclear weapons.
Yeah, I know.
And I'm going, excuse me. So we can't have health care? You can't go to the doctor, but they'll waste our money on building another bomb? How many times do you need the capability to blow up the Earth? We already have that capability.
What is their point, then? What are they trying to say? And why
That's
is it
what they're trying to say. They're trying to scare the public into believing that we're in some sort of mega danger because Barack Obama signs a treaty with the Russians.
And it's going to work because if there's one thing that every politician in Washington knows is that if you vote against any weapon system, you're going to be painted as soft on defense, and you're going to have trouble losing an election. That's why the defense budget always goes up, regardless of what the situation is around the world.
But this seems a ridiculous argument, in my opinion. I think people are not that stupid that they would think that if you reduce nuclear weapons in the world, you will not be more, safer. It's outrageous.
I cover the campaign, both of the last two campaigns, and I've seen this in action. People really believe that if you cut weapon systems, it's going to make them less safe, and I think it will resonate with Republican voters.
Really? Yeah. Well, how do you rate Obama on foreign policy? In a word, because we got to go.
I rate on foreign policy, other than increasing the wars, I think he's done exceptionally well on foreign policy, but I hate the fact that we've escalated the wars instead of pulled out.
Well, he promised to go into Afghanistan, and that's what he did, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And Palin calls him Professor-in-Chief. Why does she hate smart people? Thanks very much, guys. Up next, the legendary Carol Burnett.